Hi guys, welcome back. I've got another episode for you, the Football 11 24/7. I'm your host, Jamie Carter. Thank you to everybody that's liked and subscribed and watched me since I started doing these videos. Really appreciate your support. Obviously, tell more of your friends and family about it. Get them to like and subscribe. Going to do a lot more content, a bit more in-depth stuff as we go along. I mainly do reviews and predictions of the week's actions and the week ahead's action, that kind of stuff most of the time. But I have done talk stuff on great seasons of the past for different teams. Obviously, I've got a lot of love for my teams, Forest and Scunthorpe. But if there's anyone out there who wants me to do a review of one of their great seasons from the past, whatever league they're in, I'll be more than happy to do the research and get it done and put it up on there. So anyway, we're going to go into the reviews and predictions. My last episode that I did, I covered all the weekend's action from the 24th and 25th, the weekend that we're on now. What I'm going to do now is my review from the 20. Well, there's games on today, being Sunday, the 25th. I'm going to cover those games that's to come in the Nations League. Nations League today, Austria's playing against Croatia. I'm going to go for 2-1 to Croatia. Denmark's playing against France. I'm going to say in this one 2-1 to Denmark. Holland's playing against Belgium. I'm going to say 3-2 to Holland. Wales against Poland. Going to go for 2-2 in that game. Faroe Islands against Turkey. Going to say 2-1 to Turkey. And Luxembourg against Lithuania. I'm going to say 2-1 to Luxembourg. I'm not going to do the other predictions because those games are already been played. But that's my predictions for the Sunday games in the Nations League. Going onto Monday's games at the start of next week, there's a few Nations League games on. England's playing Germany. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in that game. Hungary's playing Italy. I'm going to say Hungary to win that game, and I'm going to go for 2-1 to Hungary. They've had a great Nations League campaign, to be fair, even though I'm not mad into it all. But I suppose I cover it just for anyone that is interested. On Monday also is playing, you've got Montenegro against Finland. I'm going to go for 1-1 in that one. Romania against Bosnia-Herzegovina. I can't even say it properly. I'll say 1-1 in that one. Gibraltar against Georgia. I'll go 3-0 to Georgia. North Macedonia against Bulgaria. I'll say 2-1 North Macedonia. And then on Tuesday, you've got more Nations League stuff going on. Portugal's playing Spain. I'm going to say 2-1 to Portugal. No, 3-1 to Portugal. Switzerland against Czech Republic. I'm going to go 2-0. And then Group B one, you've got Republic of Ireland against Armenia. I'm going to say 1-0 in that one to Republic of Ireland. Ukraine against Scotland. I'm going to say 2-1 to Ukraine. Albania against Iceland. I'm going to say 1-0 Iceland. Norway against Serbia. I'll say 3-1 Norway. Sweden against Slovenia. I'm going to say 2-0 to Sweden. Greece against Northern Ireland. I'll say 2-0 Greece. Kosovo against Cyprus. I'll say that one's 2-1 to Kosovo. That's the games for Tuesday. Wednesday, there's nothing much on. Thursday, there's nothing on either. And then we get to the start of finally we get the Championship and the Premier League games back, along with obviously League One and League Two and all the non-league stuff next weekend, which will be going into a new month. It'll be the start of October by the time that comes round on October the 1st. So Friday night's game, it'll be on Sky Sports. It's Hull against Luton Town. Hull obviously in the Championship against Luton as well. They both had a sort of okay start to the season. Hull had a decent start where they dropped off a bit, but I'm looking at it, I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to go for Luton Town to win that one 2-1. Luton started to get a bit of form back recently and Hull's dipped a little bit. So, yeah, I'll go Luton Town 2-1. Mansfield are also playing on Friday night against Hartlepool United in League Two. Mansfield, one of the favourites to get up there, but they're not showing it at the moment. But I think Hartlepool are looking really bad. They're down right at the bottom of League Two. I'm going to say that Mansfield will win that one 2-0. Then going on to Saturday, going into the 4 round of fixtures. This is all my predictions now from the Premier League straight through to League Two. So in the Premier League, Bournemouth, the early kick-off, it's the North London derby between Arsenal and Tottenham. Arsenal had a really, really good start to the season. They're still top of the league over Manchester City. Tottenham have had a good start as well. Tottenham won 6-2 in their last game against Leicester City, who look, they've had a really, really poor start to the season. As I say, Arsenal have had a good season, but they got a bit of a hammer in against Manchester United the game before last. But the last game they had against Brentford, they smashed them 3-0. So they've had a great start to the season, bar that Manchester United game. And I think it's a tough one to call because both teams are really, really good. But I think that Arsenal will just get a narrow 2-1 win in this. Get the bragging rights. So I'm going to go Arsenal 2-1. Bournemouth's playing against Brentford. Bournemouth, they've had quite an okay start to the season, really, to be fair, after getting promoted from the Championship. Bournemouth are playing Brentford at home. Brentford are also doing solid. I don't think Brentford's going to go down at all. I'm going to go for Brentford to win this game, and I'm going to say 2-0 to... no, actually, I'll go 2-1 to Brentford in that one. I'm not going to stick to 2-1 for all the predictions, don't worry. The next one's Crystal Palace against Chelsea. London derby. Conor Gallagher was playing for Crystal Palace last season. I don't know if he'll be playing. I think he might be injured for Chelsea. Remains to be seen. Graham Potter is obviously the new Chelsea manager. He's only played a game against Salzburg so far, which drew 1-1 in the Champions League, which, some of the Chelsea fans wouldn't have been happy with that result. But it's early days. He's just getting into it all. I think, looking at this game between Crystal Palace and Chelsea, I think it's going to be... I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Chelsea. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in that one. We've got Fulham against Newcastle next. Fulham have had a great start to the season. I'm going to go for Fulham to win this one, and I'm going to say 2-0 Fulham. And then Liverpool's playing against Brighton. Liverpool sort of got it back together a bit against Ajax. I think they're going to turn it around a bit. Brighton obviously have lost their manager for the last few seasons, Graham Potter, to Chelsea, as I just said earlier. And I think that Liverpool will come out on top in this one, 3-1. And then we got Southampton against Everton. Everton are struggling a bit, but they're not going to go down, I don't think, but they've struggled a little bit. But it's going to be a tough one to call, but I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in that one. And then we got West Ham against Wolves in the 5:30 kickoff, which will be on Sky on Saturday. I'll obviously watch that. West Ham, I'm going to say to win that 1-2-0 and get back on track. They've had a bit of a poor start to the season, West Ham, down in the relegation zone with my beloved Forest and Leicester City, but I think West Ham will turn it around on Saturday and start getting back to winning ways again in the league. So there we go, 2-0 for West Ham predicting there. Going into the Championship, Blackburn's playing against Millwall. Blackburn, I'm going to say to win 2-0 in this game. We've got Blackburn even, so Blackburn against Millwall, 2-0 to Blackburn, I'm going to say. Blackpool's then playing Norwich City at home. Norwich have had a bit of an indifferent start, but now they're on a really good run. They're up the top there with Sheffield United in the Championship. I'm going to say 2-0 to Norwich in that one. Bristol City against Queen's Park Rangers. Bristol City are scoring a lot of goals, but QPR are doing really well as well. I reckon there's going to be a lot of goals in this game. I'm going to go for 3-3, like a crazy scoreline, 3-3. Cardiff then are playing at home to Burnley. Burnley have had a good start to the season. Cardiff are looking a little bit ropey. I'm going to say 2-1 to Burnley in this game. And it's Coventry City against Middlesbrough. Coventry finally playing on their own pitch after all this messing about. Middlesbrough have had a really bad start to the season. I can just see that continuing. I'm going to go 2-1 Coventry. Reading's then playing against Huddersfield, and I'm going to say 2-0 to Reading in that one. Rotherham against Wigan. Rotherham had another good start to the season. I'm going to say 2-1 to Rotherham in that one. Sheffield United against Birmingham City. I'm going to go 3-0 to Sheffield United. Sunderland against Preston North End. I'm going to say 2-0 to Sunderland in that one. And then you got West Bromwich Albion against Swansea. I'm going to say, it's a tough one to call that one. I'll go with 2-2 in that one. And Steve Bruce to lose his job, I think I'm going to say, because I think West Brom have had a bit of a poor start to the season. And then going into my predictions for League One, it's Accrington are playing against Morecambe. I'm going to say Accrington to win that 1-4-1. Bolton against Lincoln City. Bolton, I'm going to say to win 2-0 in that one. And then Burton against Forest Green. Both teams are struggling down in the League One relegation zone. But I'm going to go 2-1 to Burton Albion in that one. Cambridge United have had a great start season. They're in 7th I believe, in the League One at the moment currently. Cambridge at home to Derby. I'm going to go 2-1 for Cambridge in that one. Charlton against Oxford United. Charlton, I'm going to say to win that one 2-1 as well. No, 3-1. Cheltenham against Shrewsbury. I'm going to say 1-0 to 2-0 to Shrewsbury. Exeter against Bristol Rovers, kind of a West Country derby there. Exeter just come back off the back of a 4-0 win against Forest Green last weekend, this weekend even. I'm going to say Exeter to continue their good form, and I'm going to go 3-1 Exeter. Sorry to my mate John there, but got to be honest about it. Then we've got Fleetwood against Barnsley. Fleetwood, I'm going to say, are going to lose that one 3-0 to Barnsley. Ipswich against against Portsmouth even. That's near the top of the table clash. I'm going to go for 3-2 to Ipswich in that one, recovering from their 2-1 defeat against Plymouth today. I think they'll get back on track. MK Dons are then up against Peterborough. I think Peterborough will win this one 3-1. Port Vale against Sheffield Wednesday. Port Vale got smashed 3-0 by Peterborough yesterday. I'm going to say that Sheffield Wednesday are going to win that one 3-1. And then Wycombe against Plymouth Argyle. I think Plymouth are going to win that one 3-2. So that's my predictions for that. And then finally in League Two, my final predictions. It's AFC Wimbledon against Colchester. AFC Wimbledon got a good draw against Bradford yesterday. I fancy them to get something against Colchester. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory there. Carlisle's playing against Crewe. I'm going to say 2-1 Crewe. Crawley Town against Stevenage. I'm going to say 2-0 to Stevenage. Gillingham against Sutton United. Go for a 1-1 draw in that one. Harrogate Town against Bradford City. That's an early kick-off in League Two. Say it's a tough one to call that. I'll go for another 1-1 draw in that one. Leyton Orient against Newport County. I'm going to say 3-1 to Leyton Orient. Rochdale against Doncaster. I'm going to go for Rochdale against Doncaster to lose that one 3-0 to Doncaster. And then I'm going to go Salford's then playing Grimsby Town. I'm going to say 2-0 to Salford City. And then Stockport against Walsall. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in that one. Swindon against Northampton Town. I think that's a tough one to predict, but I'll go with 2-2 again. No, I'll go 3-2. I'll go 3-2 to Northampton. And then Tranmere against Barrow in the final game in League Two on Saturday. I'll say 1-1 in that game as well. So, yeah, so that's the predictions for that. On the Sunday, Leeds United are playing against Aston Villa in the late kick-off, which will be on Sky Sports at 4:30. I fancy Leeds to win that one quite comfortably. I'm going to go for 3-0 to Leeds United. And then Manchester City playing in a massive game against Manchester United, which is on the early kick-off at 2 o'clock on Sunday. It's a tough one to predict. Man United have picked up the form a little bit, but I think Manchester City are just too consistent, and I think Manchester City will show their quality, and I think Manchester City will win that one 3-1. And then there's one more game from the Championship, which is an even earlier kick-off than the two games I mentioned on the Sunday coming up, next Sunday even. It's Stoke against Watford. Stoke, they're a bit indifferent. I think Watford are going to be too good for them. I'm going to go 2-1 Watford in that one. So that's all my predictions for the week ahead. Just let me know in your comments if you guys agree with any of that stuff or if you think it's going to be different to that. And and we'll see what happens. But have a great week. Obviously, I might do another episode possibly on Tuesday in 2 days' time, and that will be basically just covering some history from the past to do with one of the seasons from the Premier League era or something like that, or an old old time from the Division 1 or something. I'll probably just do a review of a season from like years ago or something like that and just do that. But anyway, thank you for supporting and liking and subscribing to the channel. As I say, we'll continue to grow. I'm grateful to everybody that's got behind me already, and have a great week, whoever you support next week. And all the best. It's been Football Heaven 24/7. Bye for now.